this is something y'all need to do, especially on these 2024s. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. So we have the Dark Horse here on the ramps ready to go. We have no time to waste. You go ahead and see it's already dark out here. But for today, the install is going to be very, very crucial, especially if you're running boost like this Dark Horse is. This Dark Horse is running the VMP/Whipple supercharger on here, and it's also on E30. So it is making some decent power. It is definitely pushing a lot of air through it. As you guys have seen in one of my previous videos, if you haven't seen it, go definitely check it out. We actually ended up getting pulled over for it. But we have the long tube headers in here already installed, but they're running the high flow cats. So we actually have a set of connector pipes that we're gonna go ahead and be installing, but that is actually not the main purpose of the video. The main purpose of the video is because of how much air is going through and how hot it is actually getting the exhaust. The cats honestly cannot handle it, so it actually ends up getting too hot, and it actually ends up pulling timing, which drastically does damage to your how much power you're actually gonna be able to push. So the actual fix is gonna go ahead and be this Defouler here. Definitely super clutch. I actually got this off Lethal Performance, so shout out to them. But you go ahead and see, this is the part that's actually going to go ahead and replace the O2 sensor, and then the actual O2 sensor is going to go into this one here. So the true benefit of this is the O2 sensor is actually going to go ahead and be able to sit back further, so that way it doesn't overheat, and it's also not going to be throwing the code, because this piece here has like its own little catalytic converter in here. So on other Mustangs, it's not that big of a deal, but these 2024s, because you can't tune for any of this stuff, it's very, very particular that you have to take care of whatever throws codes on this thing, because whatever goes wrong, it ends up pulling timing and you lose a lot of horsepower. So I actually just filmed the video. We just got some NATO tires out there, so we actually did a couple testing, got some draggies. I'm not going to go ahead and put numbers up. However, I'll just tell you guys the differences. So once we actually put these defoulers on the connectors, we'll go ahead and see the real difference here. Let's go. Here we actually have the connecting pipe that actually connects the cat to the actual resonator or X pipe, Y pipe, whatever you have in your car. With that being said, you go ahead and see we have the extension, also known as a defouler, attached. If you can get this actual part off the car, that would be 10 times easier than actually trying to do it underneath the car. So you go ahead and see both of them are off right here. And the connector pipe is attached, so that way we get some more power, baby. And the Dark Horse is just looking menacing here with the blue lights underneath. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and start this thing up, but it is 8 o'clock, so let's go ahead and do this now, and then I'll close the valves after it starts it up. And close the valves. So with the O2 extension being installed, or aka the defouler, it's all good to go. The weather's been kind of off and on. So for now, we're just gonna go ahead and drive the car around, let the process take place, let the system get used to basically having that installed, and let the computer again do its part. In the meantime, we did actually upload the Cobra video. This Cobra actually took on a Hellcat, so you guys do not want to miss that video. We did a 60 to 130 and a 60 to 160 in that thing, which is pretty freaking crazy. But again, definitely don't want to miss that. Go check that video after this. We're gonna go ahead and actually move the Dark Horse back over here into the driveway. We just parked it up here just for some pictures. That's gonna be on Instagram, so definitely go ahead and check that out also. Alright, so with the car back in the driveway here, now we can actually go ahead and go inside and look at the dash. Alright, so now actually in the car, you go ahead and see there is no check engine light. Trying to go ahead and focus in here, maybe we can zoom in a little bit. But again, you'll see no check engine light. You will see the door open and you see the air pressure there. And that is because we're on the Nittos right now and we have low tire pressure on the rear there. So I will say it did take about a handful of cycles, to be honest with you. I went to a couple different towns over as well, just driving on the freeway. Couple city drives as well. Again, stoplights, stop signs, all that good stuff. And in between stops, I did do a couple power cycles. But again, it did take a handful of those kind of trips for it to actually reset. We're gonna go ahead and actually be able to test it out now and see what the power difference feels like. So there's currently a good weather storm happening right now, but I'm actually just sitting out here in the car because I did not wrap up the video, so that's what we're doing now. So there actually was a huge noticeable difference doing this. There's actually on draggy about 1.5 seconds. Obviously, I'm not going to show you guys full times, but I can tell you guys there was about 1.5 seconds difference. With that being said, there was such a noticeable difference that the tires actually did not hold what they were holding beforehand when we had this issue prior, right? So now that the issue was fixed, I actually had to drop the PSI quite a bit on the Nittos to basically get traction and find that good comfort zone. Now, I actually did make a huge difference. It's something that not a lot of people actually call out when you're doing this. The issue that I was having is a little bit more severe because, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is a 2024, so you can't really tune for these things. That's not actually what happens. The car does what it's going to do to protect itself. And what it was actually doing was dumping fuel. Now, I was actually wondering why, since I've been boosted and since I put the headers on, this thing was going through fuel like crazy. Now, honestly, this is the first time I'm running a blend. This is the first time I'm running E30. The other cars, the Shelby and the Cobra, are fully on E85. And even those cars were running the fuel just like this one were. They're getting the same MPG. Now, at the end of the day, I don't really pay attention too much to that because obviously it's miles per gallon, right? And now in this case, I actually been dailying this car, so I did notice the difference. Now, going back to what I mentioned, the car will do what it's supposed to do to protect itself. It was dumping fuel. So I was literally going through fuel like crazy. So that is actually a whole nother benefit to actually getting the defoulers or O2 extensions. The other thing to mention is you don't want to put it on the O2 sensor in front of the cat. You actually want to put it the one behind the cat. So the one further down on the exhaust. Just like we kind of showed you guys, but I didn't actually mention which sensor. When you get down there, you'll notice again, there's two. One at the cat or before the cat, and then one after the cat, which is the one that you want to do the install on. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, if you are boosted, even if you just did headers, this is something y'all need to do, especially on these 2024s. It is a game changer. I hope this video does actually reach out to a lot of you guys. I actually did do a couple posts on Facebook in the groups. So again, huge appreciation to all y'all for helping me out. And again, I hope this video actually helps some more people out. With that being said, if you're not yet subscribed, definitely consider subscribing and help out a lot. We actually have a race with an ESS boosted. I believe it's like 800 horsepower, 850 maybe, I don't know. But stay tuned for that because we're going to go ahead and test this thing out now that it's actually running good. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.